I look good. You know what? I'm gonna come out straight and say it. I've never finished Step Brothers. Hold on. Do any of you really think it's Will Ferrell's best? Oh, he's an immature boy who lives with his parents still, and another boy lives with their parent, and the parents get married. Yeah, sure. Honestly, I don't get it. Sure, it can be funny, but when I think of a comedy that hit all the right notes and had original characters with an environment that can make it all possible, I think Anchorman. With the release of the appropriately titled Anchorman 2 coming soon, I think it's best time to go over the decade-old original film, which just happens to be one of my favorite comedies ever made. When I talk about jokes that work with the environment, I'm talking about jokes like Jack Black kicking a dog over a bridge only to have the dog live later on, or images of dismemberment, or even a musical arrangement. All these jokes only work because the environment makes us feel like it's not real. Another thing that makes Anchorman work is how serious the people are. The comedic writers obviously knew that the more serious they showed these characters, the more they'd be funny when the surreal events happened. The story is of Ron Burgundy, played by Will Ferrell, an anchorman that leads the Channel 4 news team. But suddenly, a new employee is hired who is trying to climb up the ranks of the studio. Who is this new treacherous character? It's none other than a woman! Veronica Corningstone, played by Christina Applegate, bringing into the story a battle of the sexes. The men think the studio is no place for a woman to lead the news, while the women want to have much right at the news as the men. But what happens? Well, Ron falls in love. Veronica does not. But after a date and some jazz flute, Veronica undoubtedly falls for the mustached man. But then tragedy strikes. Baxter, Ron's dog, is kicked over a bridge after Ron throws a taco, accidentally, at a moving motorcyclist. Ron has lost hope at life while the news goes on, with Veronica taking charge to the dismay of everyone, even Ron. When the ratings are boosted due to Veronica's news lead, she is partnered with Ron as a new anchor. The two now hate each other, since Ron will accept her as anchor, putting Veronica in a fury. The two play hatred to each other until Veronica takes it too far, causing Ron to get fired. Miserable on the streets, Ron watches as Veronica takes over the news. As months go by, Channel 4 goes to tackle the biggest story of the year, the birth of a panda. After some incidents occur, Veronica gets stuck in a bear entrapment. Channel 4 can't find her, but they need to do the news ASAP, so they call upon Ron once again, who runs to do the story. On the way, he finds Veronica, saves her, and the two make up, and they finish the story, taking charge as San Francisco's lead station. When you get down to it, yeah, the story is pretty basic. It's a love story, a story about dipping pen in company ink. Does it have its cliches? Yeah. Does it have a corny happy ending? Yeah. Did I even explain half of the things that happen in the movie in the plot synopsis? No. I haven't even mentioned the sex-obsessed Brian Fantana, played by Paul Rudd, and his sex panther.
60% of the time, it works. Every time.
Or Champ Kine, played by David Koechner, who always has a voice like he's announcing a football game.
It is Anchorman, not Anchor Lady!
And Brick. Steve Carell as Brick.
Where did you get those clothes? At the toilet store?
He is one of the few characters ever made that is completely stupid, yet so likable and so right. He completes the difficult task of not being annoying. Did Steve Carell's career boost from this movie? Well, the 40-year-old virgin was released a year later, but still, he's just as funny in this movie. This movie has a lot of that Will Ferrell humor, where he will just reference something completely random. It's almost like with these scripts, he just takes random words and random things and mashes them all together to create some script and then tries to find a story around it. Does it work? Well, if he actually does that, then yes, it works for him, and probably only him. There's no way to explain how this comedy works. He doesn't give the film just one impossible moment, he gives it several, one after the other. And I don't know how many comedies you're all familiar with, but Will Ferrell will collaborate with someone, and then those people will collaborate with each other, and they start making these films, and all these films that all these collaborators star in has created this group name known as the Frat Pack. This group consists of Jack Black, Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson, Vince Vaughn, Will Ferrell, and Steve Carell. And they all star in this film, making it the only feature that contains the complete Frat Pack. Wait, hold on guys, I got a text, sorry. Dear Cinephile, stop making a fool of yourself, you schmuck. Owen Wilson was not an Anchorman, you idiot, so stop being a fool, you foolish fool. Love or hate the evil Cinephile. Oh, alright, I guess I was wrong. Owen Wilson did not appear in Anchorman, so... Maybe Anchorman 2 all the Frat Pack will be in it. If This Is the End could get all the Team Apatow in their movie, why can't Anchorman 2 get the job done? Even though Judd Apatow had nothing to do with This Is the End. And when you get down to it, the Frat Pack sometimes collaborates with Team Apatow. In fact, some people who are in the Frat Pack are also in Team Apatow. And then don't forget the people from Happy Madison, who sometimes work with the people from Team Apatow, and all the comedians are working together to monopolize the market. Is this movie a parody? No. And it's not a satire either because the characters are too over-edged. They don't act like what a usual satire would, such as Stephen Colbert. This comedy doesn't really say anything about anything, it's just there. But am I looking at it as the best comedy ever made? No, and I hope you all don't look at it like that either. Plus, it probably helps that this film is very, very quotable. I acknowledge that it has flaws, but when I really get down to it, this is one of the few films that can make me laugh all the way through and still have me laughing after all the years of watching it. If you don't like this movie, I could totally see where you're coming from. But you should be at least able to appreciate that this movie had some direction. I mean, look at the clothing, look at the colors and the designs. Enough time and effort was put in to give a real 70s feel to this movie, but there's no good shots of San Francisco. A number of overhead shots appear, but I'm talking about when they are on the street. It seems like they could be on any street in the world, and they just call it San Francisco. Obviously, they couldn't turn the whole city retro for this movie, but it'd be nice to see some outdoor environment. All that helps save the 70s look of the film is the indoor sets, which were carefully designed. Yes, it's a comedy. A Will Ferrell comedy. I probably should be paying attention to the humor more than anything else, but this movie was directed so well. Someone really paid attention. Seth Rogen is in this movie, so I guess it's kind of a film debut? Wait. He played the bully in Donnie Darko, so that's his debut. Before Knocked Up, of course. Chris Parnell is in this, but he doesn't have that trademark weirdness.
Think like that? Poof.
Well, he mostly doesn't have it. Fred Willard plays the main manager of the Channel 4 studio. That's right, it's the guy from WALL-E. And he's constantly getting calls from his son about school and, well, just watch it. Those scenes are pretty funny.
Put down the gun and let the marching band go. We'll play it off as a prank.
I guess if I were to complain about a number of things, I guess I'd complain that the story isn't really that surprising. There's nothing cool to it. There's nothing original to it. And the whole battle of the sexes and feminism thing, it's sort of touched on, but it doesn't really bring anything new to the plate. But to be honest, I don't think the movie was really trying to do that. I mean, this movie was purely written to be funny, and it's nice to know that some comedies can still do that. Just have a nice, funny script that's directed well, unlike other atrocious, storyless comedies that are still being made today. Yeah, these two. Go to your nearest DVD store and buy this movie if you haven't done so. It's worth it. Sadly, I've never gotten to watching Wake Up Ron Burgundy, which I hear is a mashup of deleted scenes that became a movie itself. And I'm hyped for Anchorman 2. It all comes down to how funny the script will be. Plus, if they get a better story, which isn't really hard at all, they could possibly make a better Anchorman. And the trailer is giving me hope.
Look at him. He's a prince.
He's not that great.
What'd you say? He said you're not that great.
Prick.
Now I introduce a new segment to the show I call What I Learned from This Movie. I learned that jazz flute gets any woman to fall in love with you, that street fights contain every weapon known to man, that a dog can survive a kicking over a bridge, that suits are all men care about, and that San Francisco is a word meaning, well, look it up. Hey, how dare you do a superhero review of something that isn't my movie? Anchorman's not a superhero. You mean to tell me that Anchorman is not a superhero that uses an anchor as a weapon? Go get a dictionary or Wikipedia or something. Look up Anchorman. Well, sorry, but if you ever do get to a superhero, remember to review my movie. Who are you even? I am Iron Man. Well, what do you think, Wally? Do you think crossing over two superheroes in one movie is a smart idea?
How would that work?
No idea. But hey, if they ever make like a Batman Superman movie, hopefully they'll just take the Batman from the Dark Knight series because, you know, it was so recent. Why not just use the Batman and the Batman origin story that was right there to begin with? Why not just use the same Batman instead of getting a new guy to play him? Because that would be ridiculous to do. Right, Warner Brothers? Right, Christopher Nolan? Right?
What if they got Ben Affleck to play Batman?
If they got Ben Affleck to play Batman, I'd actually give him a chance. Really? Well, yeah. I mean, people didn't like Michael Keaton being picked as Batman. And look, he did great. But seriously, what's the chances of them getting a new Batman? Especially when Christopher Nolan is making or producing Superman, the new one and everything. So I mean, if they make a Batman and a Superman movie, they're probably gonna just use the one from the last Batman. Wouldn't that make the most logical sense? I mean, the chances of them not doing that is like 169 to 1.
Studios are smarter than that.
Well, that concludes this episode. I'm gonna go check some movie news. Checking the news, Ooh, Christopher Nolan wants a different Batman for Superman Batman film.
No!
Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna grab some afternoon delight. My motto's always been when it's right, why wait until the middle of a cold dark night? When everything's a little clearer in the light of day. And we know the night is always gonna be here anyway. Thinking of you's working up my appetite. Looking forward to a little afternoon delight. Rubbing sticks and stones together, making sparks ignite. And the thought of loving you is getting so exciting. Sky rockets in flight. Woo! Afternoon delight. Whoop. You guys have it, I think. Afternoon delight.
I don't know, Ron. That sounds kind of crazy.
Sounds like you have mental problems, man.
Yeah, you got mental problems, man.
Yeah, it really does.
Man.
Afternoon delight. I'm gonna make a phone call here.
Hey, everyone! Come and see how good I look!
I love Lamp.
Do you really love the lamp, or are you just saying it because you saw it?
I love Lamp. I love Lamp.